Two sessions open, crowds of people in front of the National Bureau of Letters and Calls in Beijing. China's stock market slump accelerates capital flight, investors rush to buy foreign securities. China's leading private higher education institution defaults on $300 million debt, faces liquidation. Sudan red storm continues, 5 seasoning powders, including white pepper, affected. During the two sessions, the epidemic rages, Beijing sees increase in severe cases. Revealing the first wave of the epidemic in Wuhan, hundreds of thousands dead, bodies dismembered. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Two sessions open, crowds of people in front of the National Bureau of Letters and Calls in Beijing. On March 7th, a user on the X platform Dawn, Aoshi Special Forces, released 2 videos. One video showed that on March 4th, the opening day of the CCP's two sessions, a large number of petitioners gathered outside the Chinese National Petitions Office. A man claiming to be from Chongqing said, on March 4th, I was defending my rights at the entrance of the National Petitions Office, where the crowd was enormous. I hope the national leaders will pay great attention and hope to resolve the injustices faced by the common people. The footage displayed a large group of individuals suspected to be plainclothes police or interceptors standing beside the crowd, mostly men. Subtitles indicated the Ministry of Public Security is all black, all interceptors. Another video showed that on March 6 on the streets of Beijing, petitioners were caught by interceptors and forced into a vehicle, while several elderly petitioners blocked the car in an attempt to rescue them, shouting, "Don't let them go, put the people down. You are kidnappers and you've stolen my property." The video uploader directly stated, although the petitioners shouted to call 110, in reality, a police car followed the black vehicle that kidnapped the petitioners. In response, netizens criticized, the representatives of the National People's Congress proposed one solution after another that seems to address people's livelihoods, yet they refuse to look at the real lives of the people. How can they represent the people? This is the real China. The CCP cannot represent the Chinese. It's really hard to understand why the Communist Party hates the Chinese people so much. The tragedy of China's leaks is fundamentally not understanding. All your suffering is brought to you by the CCP. Only the collapse of the CCP can lead to a good start. Some netizens commented, the pitiful common people still think they can file a complaint here, but this place is just a facade for external propaganda. If problems could really be solved, there would be no need to come here. Since people need to come here, it means problems cannot be resolved. Countless petitioners come here with hope, some disappear, some become mentally ill, and some indeed become mentally ill. The stories that happen here alone are enough to make a horror movie. However, some netizens pointed out that the Beijing National Petitions Office is busy every day with numerous petitioners, which may not be an exaggeration. From overseas social media X, one can find many images of petitioners waiting in long lines outside the Chinese National Petitions Office, with some petitioners starting to queue from early morning to submit their documents earlier. Every day at the Beijing National Petitions Office, people have to queue and swipe their ID cards, and local authorities come to find them, claiming to solve problems, but in the end, they are just taken back and deceived. Rights defender Zhang Tianxi commented on March 4th, pointing out that authorities mobilized a large police force to protect the two sessions, with key officers even being transferred to provincial capitals or border cities to block petitioners from entering Beijing. Before the two sessions, Beijing rights activists Hu Jia, veteran journalist Gao Yu, and Tiananmen Square student leader Ji Feng were all forced into guided tours or put under surveillance. It is expected that this year's two sessions will not produce real results, just like previous years, only creating more human rights disasters. China's stock market slump accelerates capital flight, investors rush to buy foreign securities. According to sources quoted by Reuters on March 6, demand for QDII funds from Chinese domestic investors this year has been absolutely crazy. Sources revealed that British hedge fund BlackRock saw a 5-fold increase in financing through a QDII product sold in China in just 2 months this year, raising close to $12 million, compared to only $2.1 million raised throughout 2023. QDII, or qualified domestic institutional investor, represents an important channel for overseas investment, allowing Chinese nationals to purchase foreign securities under Beijing's strict capital controls. Data from the China Securities Investment Fund Association shows that in January this year, QDII fund sales surged by 50% year-on-year, reaching a historical high, while sales of domestic stock mutual funds in China fell by 35%. The assets under management of QDII funds also saw a 19% increase compared to last year. The report highlights the overseas investment craze as a reflection of the pressures facing China's capital account and currency, indicating a lack of confidence among Chinese in their domestic market. Recently, China's stock market indices have fallen to their lowest points in nearly 5 years, with yields on 30-year government bonds also reaching all-time lows. Furthermore, as China's economy continues to decline and regulations become increasingly stringent, Chinese billionaires have been emigrating in large numbers, transferring substantial wealth overseas. According to statistics from British investment immigration consulting firm Henley & Partners, in 2022, over 10,800 millionaires left China, taking $71.2 billion out of China. In 2023, the number of Chinese millionaires emigrating is estimated to reach 13,500. It is projected that by 2025, the number of emigrating Chinese billionaires will exceed 700,000. This implies that in 2022 and 2023 alone, Chinese billionaires will have taken approximately $160 billion in wealth to other countries. Additionally, the number of offshore family offices set up by Chinese billionaires to transfer assets overseas has also been on the rise. Preliminary compilations include Chinese billionaires who have emigrated to Singapore, such as Jack Ma's wife Zhang Ying, Alipay Queen Peng Lei, Hillhouse Capital Group's Zhang Lei, Dianping's Zhang Tao, Winter Sea Group and Shopee's Li Xiaodong, Heidaleo's Zhang Yong and his wife, Mindray Medical's chairman Li Ziding, and the co-founders of Boyo Capital, Jiang Zicheng, grandson of former CCP leader Jiang Zemin, Tong Xiaomiao, and Zhang Zixin, among others. With the further deterioration of China's real estate and stock markets, as well as the investment environment, it is widely believed that billionaires still in mainland China will continue to look for opportunities to emigrate overseas and transfer assets. China's leading private higher education institution defaults on $300 million debt, faces liquidation. On March 5, CE Holdings, a private Chinese education group, stated in the announcement that it received a statutory demand from legal representatives acting for convertible bond creditors, demanding the payment of a total debt of almost $325 million including the principal and accrued interest of the bonds subscribed by the creditors. The demand letter also stated that the company must repay the amount within 3 weeks from the date of delivery of the demand letter, otherwise the creditors may file for liquidation. Prior to this, on March 4, CE Holdings announced that due to external environmental factors and the current financial condition of the company, it was unable to redeem the convertible bonds on the selected redemption date, resulting in a default event related to the convertible bonds on March 2, 2024. On March 5, Hope Education Holdings announced that trading of these convertible bonds on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange would be suspended from 1 p.m. on March 5, 2024. A creditor revealed to Caixin that the creditor group has officially initiated legal proceedings. Starting from March 5, if the company doesn't repay the money within 21 days, we can start the liquidation process. Private universities were once considered cash cows in the Chinese capital market. However, since 2021, the CCP has introduced various policies restricting private and vocational education, putting pressure on private enterprises. Although private universities were not directly impacted, policy and financing directions have changed rapidly in the past 2 years, significantly restraining capital expansion. CE Holdings, formerly known as Hope Education, was established in Sichuan in October 2007 and successfully listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on August 3, 2018. Currently, the group operates 24 schools in China and abroad, including 11 undergraduate colleges, 11 vocational colleges, and 2 technical institutes, with a total enrollment of nearly 291,000 students. It mainly offers regular undergraduate courses, continuing education courses, and vocational education programs, emphasizing students' mastery of practical skills and knowledge. It ranks among the top in the size of private higher education groups in China. Sudan Red Storm continues, 5 seasoning powders, including white pepper, affected. The ongoing issue with carcinogenic Sudan red and chili powder continues to unfold in China. At a recent meeting held by the Executive Yuan on Thursday 3/7, municipal leaders from various regions discussed the current state of affairs. Taoyuan's deputy mayor, Su Junbin, revealed that new instances of Sudan red contamination were discovered in raw green chili powder in New Taipei. This contaminated powder has been used by a food company in Taoyuan to produce 5 key products: white pepper, black pepper, pepper salt powder, red chili, and chicken heart powder. These products have since been pulled from the shelves, stance by temporarily halting the use of chili powder, curry powder, white and black pepper, pepper salt powder, and other similar spices in school nutrition lunch programs for a period of 3 months as a precautionary measure. During the 2 sessions, the epidemic rages. Beijing sees increase in severe cases. During the CCP's 2 sessions, the epidemic continued to break out across China, with many people reporting hospitals overflowing and numerous sudden deaths from infection, especially in Beijing, where there has been an increase in severe cases of pneumonia and white lung, causing panic among the population. Mr. Liu, a worker in Beijing, recently disclosed to NTD that many people around him were experiencing fever and cold symptoms, with a significant number of severe cases of pneumonia and white lung, leading to widespread panic. Due to the inability to earn money in Beijing and the fear of infection, many workers are returning to their hometowns. Beijing resident Mr. Liu said, "It's very serious in Beijing, hospitals are overflowing and there's a shortage of beds. There are even more cases of pneumonia and white lung, and they're not easy to cure. Currently, there's no specific medication. Sudden deaths are mostly among the elderly. I know about 7 or 8 people around 60 years old, probably due to the virus. Everyone's afraid to go out. It's hard to make money working, so we're preparing to go back to our hometowns." Mr. Sun from Jiangsu mentioned that local hospitals are overwhelmed with patients, with frequent deaths occurring. However, the official stance still downplays the epidemic. Mr. Sun from Jiangsu said, "The hospitals are packed with people. You have to pull strings to get admitted. They talk about some sort of cold, but they don't mention anything about the epidemic. The Communist Party doesn't regard people as human beings. When someone suddenly dies, they just say it was due to old age or some other disease. 2 people in their 50s have passed away, and 2 more in their 70s. They seemed healthy enough, but then they were gone just like that." Ms. Sun from Yunnan mentioned that she lives near Kunming, where the economy is in decline, and the number of tourists and migrant workers has significantly decreased. Nonetheless, there have been numerous sudden deaths. People from various regions have noted that the current wave of the epidemic has seen poor treatment outcomes from hospitals, which cannot cure the disease, and the costs are high. Dr. Su, a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner from Zhejiang, pointed out that a few inexpensive Chinese herbal medicines could alleviate the condition. However, hospitals, aiming to make money, engage in excessive medical treatment. Dr. Su from Zhejiang said, "According to traditional Chinese medicine, those who don't exercise much and have deficient yang energy are definitely more prone to colds because their vital energy is weaker. If there are exterior symptoms, you should first release the exterior." They went straight to clearing heat and detoxifying without addressing the exterior symptoms, which of course can lead to complications. In fact, many conditions are caused by treatment. Sometimes, not taking medicine is actually better than taking it. Revealing the first wave of the epidemic in Wuhan, hundreds of thousands dead, bodies dismembered. The shadow of COVID-19 pandemic still looms over China. Yet, in the face of this crisis, the Chinese Communist Party has been performing an absurd act. Not only has it consistently concealed the truth, but it has also issued orders to avoid mentioning COVID-19 and instead to refer to it as influenza in hospitals. Since 2024, people across various regions in mainland China have reported overcrowded hospitals and a surge in unexplained sudden deaths, even sparking a coughing wave and frequent severe cases of various cancers and cerebral hemorrhages. Such phenomena have led the public to suspect a connection to the COVID-19 pandemic. To this day, after more than 4 years of the epidemic in China, the official narrative still lacks transparency. Recently, a resident of Shaanxi told the overseas Epoch Times that a friend's sister, a hospital director, disclosed that the first wave of the COVID-19 outbreak in early 2020 resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people in Wuhan, at least over 100,000. 5 crematoriums in Wuhan operated 24 hours a day, with several furnaces exploding due to overload. When they couldn't keep up, they froze the bodies, sectioning bodies, and intended to cremate them later when possible. It is understood that Wuhan has 8 funeral homes, including Hankow Funeral Home, Wuchang Funeral Home, Qingshan Funeral Home, Saidian Funeral Home, with 3 located in the central city area. The local government mandated that, regardless of whether the deceased had died from COVID-19, ash collection and burials were to be temporarily suspended. In March 2020, Wuhan funeral homes allowed families of the deceased to collect ashes of those who died during the epidemic, resulting in long lines outside these institutions for several days. Caixin once revealed that Hankow Funeral Home received 5,000 urns in just 2 days, more than double the official death toll reported by the CCP for the city of Wuhan. One staff member disclosed that in February 2020, funeral homes operated 19 hours a day, and every male staff member was called to transport bodies. We were instructed to distribute all the ashes before Qingming Festival. This included those who died from Wuhan pneumonia and other causes. A driver who transported urns revealed that his vehicle carried over 2,500 urns at one time. COVID-19 first broke out in Wuhan at the end of 2019, hence it was also referred to as Wuhan pneumonia. From January 23, 2020, Wuhan went into lockdown for 76 days, during which the people of Wuhan experienced death, sorrow, anger, and despair. Despite this, the CCP government has consistently avoided discussing the epidemic. The presence of COVID-19 in China has been downplayed, with official mentions ceasing as if silence could make the virus disappear. American virologist Lin Xiaoshu pointed out that China may now be facing a compound attack of COVID-19 variants, yet such information has not received official attention. This situation leads the public to question whether CCP policies truly prioritize the welfare of the people or are merely aimed at maintaining superficial stability. This epidemic not only tests China's public health system but also the government's transparency and sense of responsibility. However, the current situation has clearly demonstrated the CCP's disregard for the lives of its citizens. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.